Hello everybody. We're going to go tonight for some grindy business because I am really not feeling like that brainy business tonight. I don't know. Sometimes we all have that urge to grind and just have a chill time, and that's what I'm here for tonight. So join on in, have a chat, and let's have a good time here, I'd say. I will also eagerly explain what is happening here, of course, as I always do. You know how it's going. Now all the chats are in place, and let's see. Currently, I am sitting on the ladder on rank 27 of all the mage players out there. Sounds pretty cool, but in reality, not hardcore, on the global ranking, it is not as impressive anymore. There it is, just 115, and I don't know how large the community of this game actually is, so take that with a grain of salt. The very next thing that I want to do right now is, let's see, we're currently running around with a sword, so we're grinding out a few sword XP, and then we're going to go to see where we're landed. Okay. So the game's very simple. It's basically like a mixture between an ARPG and Vampire Survivors. That's basically it. So, let's see. And currently I'm leveling not even my main weapon, but my off weapon. And I think the sound is going out a little bit too loud. I want the effects a little bit more dull. Because I feel like the electricity is hissing a little bit hard. And this character is spamming those electricity storms a lot, so yeah. There we go. So, how far are we down the road? Thing is, the weapons that you don't use still give you some passive stat bonuses for for their mastery that you want on your other weapons, so that's why we are here. But I'll be doing only one map like this, and then we're going to go for some real business outside. So, Timothy Grady, hey there. Glad to hear that you like the Against the Storm content. I am always happy to hear back about that game. It's one of my all-time favorites. I really feel like it's, I don't know, it's something very, very special. I can't play it every day. I really need to be, I don't know, in a certain type of mood. But, yeah, I really am always happy to hear back. Glad that you made it. Arena Sky. Yeah, it is basically like a combination of a Diablo-style game with a Survivors-like. You have rounds of 10 minutes where we are out to kill as much as we can before we meet the boss. It is up to me how long I am staying here in the arena before I go to the boss. Killing the boss, though, gives us some extra bonuses that we only get if we make it successfully to the victory line. So we always have the question of how long do we want to stay and grind out the level versus the risk of not making the boss fight anymore. Obviously, it is, like all ARPGs, able to make the game very simplistic. And since, I don't know, today I felt like I had a very low brain power today. Parenting was very exhausting today, and I don't know. This is one of my favorite games I returned to since a couple of years. And the fun part I really like about this game, they constantly make it better. This is something that I really admire. This game has been on a steady upward trend ever since I've been playing it. It has a seasonal system, so the ranked ladder does get reset every now and then. so it doesn't get stale, and the game gets expanded in between the seasons with new content, new weapons, new features, new bosses, you name it. It's really something that I really like to return every now and then, with the only downside of the game being quite repetitive and quite time intense. But you know, sometimes that's just what I crave for. Hey, Joran, happy to see you, mate. Well, Reina Sky, I loved this kind of games way before I had a child, I gotta admit. It's something, I don't know, sometimes I just have that grindy mood. Always had that. Already when I was a kid. Way before I had grindy games like that. I was making up things that were equally grindy, like counting all my magic cards. And I had thousands. I don't know what read me back then, but it was entertaining to me. Don't ask. I don't either. So I figured tonight since I was not really feeling like anything more complicated, instead of not streaming at all, I'll be chilling out with you guys. Chilling and killing, you know. Let's see how far we'll make it. I mean, I've been in the top 100 the most seasons that I've been playing. And yeah, I don't know. This game has a weird competitive itch for me, as we can constantly see what everybody does outside there, how they are skilled, what kind of dungeons they already did. So you really can compare your progress to the other folks and optimize towards that, and that's really fun. I mean, this is one of the very few games where I must say it looks like not much, but it is actually quite innovative under the hood. This is that kind of competitive PvE that I'm looking for since years. It's just not fully worked out yet, but they're getting there each season a little bit more. Diablo had also leaderboards? I see. Well, Diablo leaderboards are the roughest competition a human being could ever imagine. And at the end of the day, I gotta say, the only way to make a ladder like this realistic, it would be that we would be limited to, like, what, 2 hours a day of that game. Everybody on that ladder would be having to only play their ladder character only 2 hours a day. Otherwise, the no-lifers will always dominate the top of the ladder. And if you are not, like me, a full-time gamer, I could afford that, but it would even, to me, be a dent to my career, because it's just not enough audience on that game. But every normal person, they can only dream of the higher ranks, because people without a job, unemployed, or other reasons for having the time to do so will always be at the top of the ladder. So these are always, I feel like, very unrealistic ladders. So number 3 Witch Doctor. Well, I knew, Joran, that you have quite the dedication. Congrats, man. It's quite a big achievement, actually. Never doing it again, yeah. I had a similar experience long times ago. Path of Exile had races. Those were short games, like they were sometimes only running an hour, where you had to play a character in a specific game mode as far as you can make it, and for certain goals you were receiving points. It was basically a score attacked time-based rush mode, and I loved the heck out of it. They took it down eventually, but yeah, I made it once on some races. I think my biggest achievement was rank 7 globally on one of the bigger ones. But it stopped to be fun eventually, because you had to meta the hell out of that. and that was turning yourself into a leapfrog. This was the only way to do it. But yeah. It was also one of these never doing it again moments in my life. That's why I remembered it. Because it was fun to be there, but at the same time, oof, hard work. Really hard work. Alright, we got 2 more minutes left on that map. Fun fact about this game, the last 3 minutes are the most loot intense. So just to lure you into that false pretense to forget about either the boss or not leaving enough time. That's wonderful. It's, yeah, I really enjoy this game a lot. But I discovered during my explorations it's rather niche. But I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Okay, so that's the time that I take because we never know what kind of boss we get, and RNG in this game is really relentless. I can't Frost Demon Master. That guy is harmless. There's a couple of bosses which are straight out unfair, like the Cannibal, for example. This guy has just like 6 times the HP of a normal boss. Period. It's just it. It's just bigger, fatter, and eviler, more evil and worse than everything else. You just had a bad RNG roll. Congrats. And there's a couple of bosses that work. Reniskai, that is well put. I feel like you're right about that. If you're really passionate about gaming, and you have the time and the capacity to push for the limits once in your life, yep, absolutely with you. There we go. So these guys work that. Let's disenchant the crappy loot. And let's see, where are we at? We do need a little bit more XP to get the boss damage mark. Okay. Ah, you know what? One more round. Yeah. With kids, Timothy Grady, you really have a different pacing in your life. I really have changed my gaming appetite since I'm a dad, and I only have one kid, you know. But they keep you on your toes, regardless of it being 1 or 2. I mean, the more work, but you get the idea. Well, poker is something that I never really got into, and I gotta say I'm quite happy about it because, you know, it's quite a stressful thing. But I can't really relate to anything about that, so I'll leave the talk to other people who can. Alrighty. Thing about what I'm doing right now is, even if my character is actually a mage main, these points that I receive from leveling out the sword, they're so big. For one, I get a lot of HP out of what I'm doing. The worst thing is it's percentile bonuses that I get. I get here a max health bonus of 10%, which means every 1 point of HP I get is now 1.1 points of HP. And it accumulates. There's 7 different weapons that I can level up alongside to mine, so that means that bonus ranks up to 70%. And that starts to make quite the difference. And that's why I'm grinding myself through things that I'm actually not even using. But this game always has that weird thing. It provokes me to just try to push as far as I can. And the 10% boss damage that we get here, to put that into perspective, these little blue stones here, you see 269 I got of these. Each one of them is a 1,000th of a percent. So we need 1,000 of these little blue stones for 1%. This next bonus is 10,000 of these blue stones worth. It's hard to describe, but these little blue stones, you roughly get 1,000 of these. Maybe in an hour or so. Depends on how far you are down the road. But the bigger your character gets, the bigger the numbers get, obviously. But it is quite a big bonus for relatively low amount of work. Paper Boy, hey there, welcome. Happy to see you guys. I'm today in a grindy and chatty mood. Not really feeling like Factorio or Rimworld tonight. I need the simple catharsis of slaughtering things again and again and again. You know, game needs. How are you guys? To me, the start into the week somehow is really more difficult than usual. I hope yours is better. Somehow this week is, I don't know, whenever I find my topic for the day, for my video, I somehow loathe to work it. I don't know, sometimes I have days where I see my work and I'm like, ugh, not that. I guess everybody has that sometimes. Ah yeah, Timothy, I hear you. 4X games, they can really put you into these marathons. I remember really vividly when I was playing these games for the first time in my teens. Master of Magic, 12 hours. Flew by. Crazy. I don't know, the 12 hours were gone like poof. Good times. I really thoroughly enjoyed myself. Some people would have said that I would be totally wasting my time, but here I am, 40-year-old man, I'm like, oh, childhood memories. So, yeah, it's, don't think that this is time badly spent. No. Your brain likes it. And since the majority of your life is happening in your brain, you listen to what your brain likes. At least that's what I think. Yeah, Renisky, Rimworld is an evergreen. No DLCs on Rimworld on your end. Ah well, the mod workshop is that rich, actually. And even if you only play vanilla, there's still so much going on in the game with the regular normal updates. It's quite glorious. Okay. Oh god, I hate swords. They have such a tiny AoE. It's disgusting. That little science swirly thing around me, that's my AoE. The lightning clouds are originating from my offhand items. They're basically the one skill that you can decide from a bajillion. And that defines the majority of your build. Oh yeah, Against the Storm, Timothy, is really a game that kills time too. I totally hear you. I somehow am quite often shocked that I take roughly 2 hours for a normal match, and sometimes I fire it up roughly shortly after midnight, and before I know what happens, it's almost 3 a.m. It's crazy. Against the Storm is such a wonderful game. I really enjoy it a lot. But as a matter of fact, only the lower difficulty levels. To some degree, the higher prestige levels of Against the Storm, they really fry my neurons in a way that I often find not enjoyable anymore. I mean, I can beat it, but it's, you know, the difference between enjoying yourself and proving yourself that you can beat something. Both things are fulfilling, but really not in the same way. Bang. This game is really fun, Renisky, and I totally recommend it to everybody who has the least little spark of love for the genre. It's dirt cheap, and the devs are really passionate about it, and I really feel like you can't do much wrong about it. If you like the survivors genre and you like ARPGs, there's really a lot of meat on the bone here. Because in all honesty, the stuff that you can develop your character with, it doesn't look like there's going on much here, and in all honesty, you don't use many skills. Your build mostly consists out of one active skill and a lot of passive stats. in large capital letters. But it's actually fun because it's all like it's like the incremental game, the incremental ARPG. I love incremental games. 4 hours for a first Viceroy run? Good job. It's a good time, actually. When I was new to the game, I took way longer for each game than nowadays. I feel like with 2 to 3 hours, I feel like I'm rushing through the game. But my wife is playing Against the Storm much faster than me. And she mostly breezes through the game in triple speed. Whereas I'm totally not capable of doing so. But she also dies way more often on out of impatience than me. I mean, Queen's impatience. That happens to her way more often than to me. So, but playstyles differ. Well, the font reminds of Diablo. Some parts of the character design remind strongly of old school Warcraft. There's really a lot of nostalgia written behind the lines in this game. So we're on 2 minutes down. Sadly, no loot books spawned. Too bad. But whatever. The really interesting part here is that all loot matters. And you have a lot of tools to manipulate what kind of loot falls into your pocket. And, you know, it's basically a time optimization game. When you really take it to the max, then you start calculating which investment of time gets you what kind of stat bonus in which time, and you start to optimize which kind of activity brings you the most progress, because you have only a limited amount of time. It's wonderful. I like these things. I might understand that it's not everybody's cup of tea, though. But I really like to have something to obsess about, because if my brain doesn't have something to obsess about, I regularly fall into negative thought spirals. It's a built-in fault of mine, basically. It's also one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about gaming, because, you know, if I am not busy in my mind with something, and I'm not out in nature, or in motion or something like that, cities, apartments and such, they breed really bad thoughts for me. A long time I thought that it was something wrong with me, but when I was in the holiday vacation areas, I realized it's mostly just the city. While I'm around nature, this is really not happening as hard anymore for me. Computer games for me basically make the urban environment more survivable. We got the boss damage now. Nice. So, what I really want is this node. Really far away from that, though. So, I'm gonna do something else. Well, Rena Sky, I think many gamers are wired like me. That's why we like to do what we do, you know. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody has their own configuration and their own pet peeves and whatnot. But I strongly believe that human beings are, in their fundamental core, very similar to one another, no matter where you come from. Okay, so here I am on my real gear. TM. So, what we're going to do now, let's see what kind of keys I got. Rich of the Demigods. Dangerous. Don't know if I really want to do that. Let's go and poke the dragon. I moved to a smaller village too. I grew up in a city that had roughly 100k plus inhabitants. It was really the worst for me. I really was suffering from chronic depression and such. And now I am living in a little community, 1,200 people between two large cities, so we are logistically well connected with the region, but at the same time, you have a very, very rural feeling on the area here. And that you have good air. Local, we have a local fruit farm which has really good produce that you can actually afford. All these things matter so much. Okay, so my mage is tossing little bombs that do gravitational damage. It's Chaos Mine. The visuals of this game are really they could be better. Anyways, it's a large explosion that I can deposit on the ground, and if I walk away, it still explodes in my absence, which is really great. But the real icing on the cake with the magery is that you get to phase through enemies, so I don't get body blocked by monsters. And it even gets better. I not only get not body blocked by monsters, I get a stacking buff by phasing through enemies. I can basically double up my damage if I manage to phase 50 times through enemies. I need to maintain that. It has a expiration date, and many classes in this game where weapons have these kind of mechanics which keep you occupied between the lines, so you're not just mindlessly slaughtering things. Anyways, so yeah, moving through enemies is fun. Thanks, Ranasky. It means a lot to me to hear that. You know, when I was a little kid, my dad was buying a lot of gaming magazines that contained a lot of gaming solutions. I don't know why. These were the things that I just had in my hands when I was a kid, and I read it really a lot. I don't know, I think it left an imprint on me. And yeah, being here like that and hearing that my work is helping out people and such, it really means a lot to me. It's a full circle feeling. Dalkir, yeah, you can't see other people's skill tree like this. This is sadly not possible. The only thing that you can data mine, Dalkir, is when you hover here over the people's builds, their offhand skills and their item enchantments. But in all honesty, the offhand skill is, in my experience with the past seasons, like 60-70% of the impact there. The rest is fine print that you adjust to your own liking. But yeah. But this skill board here, ideally, to give you a quick overview, focus into regenerations of health and energy. It's the most important thing. And after that, focus into damage and try to get the nodes this year, the ones that rank with your stance mastery. It's either melee weapon or ranged weapon, but these nodes are juicy as hell. The ones that give you bonuses per stance level. Why is it so big? Because my magery stance level is 69 of 5,000. So these nodes are beyond bonkers. Technically, this one node can reach 10,000 bonus damage eventually. I mean, you have to grind your arse off to get there, but you get my idea. Have fun, Yorin. Thanks for dropping by, man. So... and this was now a limited boss, actually. The dragon is one that you need a key for, and slaying it gave us dragon scales, which allow me to passively increase my lightning damage permanently. So, there are lots of things. It's a big on incremental game attached to the game. No problem, Doc here. I am eager to answer all questions that you guys have. I managed, like I said, to get into the top 100 most seasons that I actively participated, so my advice might be not the best, but it'll get you somewhere. I don't know how the top dogs do it. I never researched that. Because I am a fond believer of finding my own way. I only research other people's methods if I really don't know anymore how to improve. I'm completely out of ideas. That is when I'm starting to look at other people's stuff. That's the only moment when I find it fulfilling to research what other people do, you see. Okay, so we got the Elysia again. Yeah, I got a few keys for her left, but, I still got a couple of ancient catacombs keys, too. Nice. Dang. So, I know these things are... do I feel fit for this boss? It's difficult. The problem with these bosses is I might have already beaten level 119 and the boss is only level 100, but if I am miscalculating and misjudging my power, I'm losing one key that is really hard to replace. Paint Factory, hi there. The skill tree is definitely inspired by Path of Exile, but I mean, which ARPGs slash RPG hasn't seen inspiration of that skill tree, which has been, by the way, shamelessly stolen by from Final Fantasy. I don't know if Final Fantasy themselves also stole it from somewhere else, but I saw that kind of skill tree the first time on Final Fantasy X. It's very, very similar. No, no question, Path of Exile refined that basic model, but the basis of the famous Path of Exile skill grid didn't grow on their tree. But whatever. So here I'm trying to make a progression run. As you see, monsters just don't die because they are stupidly powerful. And here we are only looking for one thing. Appreciating the lag that we're producing and not dying while doing so. And trying to get together 100 pieces of time essence to check if we can roll a boss that we can actually beat. This is the late game. I gotta say, the lag though is my skill. The other skill trees don't create that much lag. For some weird reason, that gravitational wave of my Chaos Mind spell is puckering up the game quite hard. So I can't read the chat right now because if I flinch a second wrongly, I'll get immediately roasted by the monsters here. So here I'm just trying to get these tiny blue baubles. Don't get to the laser carousel and enjoy life. While I'm dashing, I'm invulnerable. This game is working with dash invulnerability, and I love it for that. So, and since I can phase through the enemy, I can take a fat crowd surfing party here. So far, I can see that my DPS is a little bit lackluster. We're on 740 minutes, and we're only at 35 pieces of time essence. That is not really a good thing. Ooh, owie, owie, owie. So yeah, these guys are really annoying. Let's go one more time through here, but I think I have to accept that my damage might be not high enough yet for these guys. Could be, though, that I am also here in a very unlucky situation where I am despawning my essence drops because I have to steer clear from these enemies too long. Thing is that these blue baubles there, they despawn wickedly fast. And since you see the amount of lasers around here by now, at some point it gets overwhelming and you can't grab them quickly enough. So it's always worth to try it again. Because a part of the result here is sometimes just bad RNG. I mentioned already RNG. This game loves to pucker you up with RNG issues. If I now get a different set of enemies that is not so prickly and is not spawning that many laser carousels, this will be maybe doable. Let's try it one more time. But I do see that I am definitely well, needing a little bit of an amp damage-wise. This is much slower than the most things that I did so far. But here you see we have a completely different setup of yellow monsters, and I can play them completely different than the previous ones. The laser carousel guys, they suck quite hard, because they require you to steer very far away from them. Here I can circle the enemy together in a very, very small area, which is perfect for my skill's impact. It's an explosion that doesn't ask how many people stand in the explosion. Neither do the lightning clouds that I cast. Oh, the lags. Game's only starting to lag if you don't kill it fast enough. But the thing is, in the progression runs, that's what I'm doing here right now, trying to beat a new highest level. Late game, you rarely get to have the kill speed that is necessary to properly farm these levels. You really try to get as fast as possible to the boss, and then try to burn him down with the remaining time that you got. It's at least what I think is normal here. Whoa. Jeez, that skill is producing a lot of lag though. I never went majorly late game before. I did mostly melee characters. So... But my time essence wallet is filling up. But yeah, I messed up. We're not strong enough. Definitely not strong. Shouldn't be going like that. So we're going to go and get ourselves some enemies to mop up again. Progress mostly happens by these passive stones, which you can fit an endless amount into your fossil of the Dwarven Gods, and many other little ways and means to get yourself powered up. Like, for example, beating those bosses that drop really epic loot. So... we're gonna be farming one more round, and I'm going to try my luck with the level 100 boss there. I have a good feeling about that. The only thing I'm worried about is that my DPS might be a little bit too low. But only one way to find it. Okay. Stop healing. There we go. So next couple of days we will be receiving quite a lot of... I don't know if it was Planet B or Plan B Terraform will be released 1.0. We will see Jotun Slayer, Hordes of Hell being released. We will see Deep Rock Galactic Survivor being released. There's a couple of good things coming up this August and September. Ooh, I missed Renasky going. Dang it. Missed to say goodbye. Ah, well.
Make your way to my arena and face my minion.
Okay. But I mean, I'm already quite happy that I'm able to mow down level 99 ruptures like that. You're always looking for a sweet spot to farm, the highest possible level where you melt down the enemies, roughly in this tempo. This is a pretty good spot. Because if you kill them too fast, there's not enough enemies spawning. If you kill them too slow, there's too much enemy spawning. You just saw what happens then. Game has a lot of negative reviews. Yeah, obviously it is. It's a very niche game, and it has a lot of kinks. It is really ridden with problematic decisions left and right, but it also has a lot of lovely things going on for itself, and I don't know why, but it is that one ARPG that I keep playing. It's that one ARPG where I have the urge to improve my character, and it's that one ARPG that I like to play and keep returning to season after season. It might have a lot of things that I dislike about it. I could go on for like at least 30 hours now and describe things that I really don't like about Dwarven Realms. No problem. But at the same time, weirdly enough, I like playing it. And this is a very interesting phenomenon, and to me, the point where I say, I like it. Even if it has negative rep. And I felt like introducing it at least once in a while on my channel. I can't imagine that too many people watching my channel too much into it, but I also feel like it's one of those games that has, in essence, its thoughts right, you know? It doesn't sell you microtransactional BS. It is really flippin' cheap at what it does, and it's constantly being improved to the better. So I'm constantly following their work, and I'm constantly doing my best to give them a little bit of airtime if I can. But in all honesty, tonight I just felt like chilling. And this is one of the games that I really like to pack out if I want to chill. It is what it is. Okay, 5 minutes left almost. One other game that I really enjoyed playing lately a lot was Halls of Torment. It's also a really, really nice retro-styled Survivors-like game that has a lot of goodness in it. Oh, a loot bug. So this golden shimmering enemy will now drop a ton of containers. Boom. There we go. And there is a fixed chance at 3 minutes left, so after 7 minutes that one of these bad boys spawns every time. So it always is worth trying to stay in a level for at least 7 minutes to check if one loot bug doesn't spawn. Generally, the later the rupture, the higher the spawn rate. You can clearly see how there's way more action around me right now compared to where we started at. I wonder if I missed Tired Poet or if it's to get another round. Did I miss him saying hi? We'll see. Okay, almost 3 minutes left. Let's see if another loot bug is honoring us with its presence. There it is. See? Like I said, at minute 7 you have another fixed chance of these. There we go. Okay, wonderful.
I wasn't even sweating.
This is one of those games I could make tons of guides about if they would be interesting to anybody besides a handful of people playing this game. Oh man, sometimes I hate it that I have to work what sells best. It's one of those things that really bothers me lately, more and more. But well, there will come better times. So let's leave this place and see if we can't get ourselves some real gear. Because one of the biggest problems of my character right now is that he's hopelessly undergeared. Bye-bye, Mr. Keevesum. Yeah, why not? At the end of each level, depending on how much time essence you collected, you can trade it for something useful. And that is where the strategy part of the game really shows. Because the rewards are what makes your character more powerful. There's really a lot of things that you can't do there. So here I took various stones that will make my character stronger. Because passive stats are just one of the best rewards out there. Okay, let's go for a lowest level ride on the Bridge of the Demigods. Oh, that's a good DPS. Nice. She's going down quite quickly. That's very good. I mean, the graphical effect of this skill is very annoying, but it's sadly the strongest skill that my mage has. Yeah, alright, we're obviously capable of tanking Chaotica, even. Nice. So this is only the first form of the boss, but seeing how quickly she dies is a very, very good sign. The second form of hers is much more resilient, but melting her first form like that is meaning that we have a really, really good chance of winning this. Which is excellent because the loot of this place is going to get my character ahead. There we go. There's now the real boss. Better not let him touch me. Alright, I like summoned minions. They buff me up when I walk through them. Worst thing that can happen when you're trying one of these bosses is that your damage is just not it's only tickling these guys. If you can't kill them fast enough, these boss fights become very, very tedious and problematic. But that's been extremely positive. Nice. I like that. So 17 level ups for kicking this guy. And let's see, archery, swords, axes, swords, molds, archery. Damn, that's not a single magery item. Spear, axes, swords, fists, molds, magery, at least a couple of gloves. Okay, it's a very unlucky first time. But we're going to do this now a little bit more often, as you might have already guessed. So, we get nothing else that we could use, but at least a badass scythe. I might be wanting that. Okay. So, level 30 versus level 32. Okay, at least better leveling gear for later. Something. And these gloves, no. Here, let's see. It's a bit more of everything, right? Right. Okay. Let's see how many more of these keys I can make me. 2 more. Good, good. And let's keep frying that thing. Hopefully get some better loot this next time. Having no major weapon available in the drop table was very, very unlucky. Sometimes I find it really annoying that I can't really see 2 small enemies in my skill. Because this gravity mine is just, well, you see what it does. Okay. Trying to touch as many of the summons as possible to max out my phasing bonus. That's why I'm always happy when extra summons spawn. They're basically powering me up. There we go. Okay, phase 2. The most enjoyable part is that this thing is only doing 800 damage at me if it strikes me. This is laughably low. They're really tanky by now. Got him.
I wasn't even sweating.
Perfect. Beautiful. So, give me something beautiful now. Molds, archery, fists, spear, scythe, fists, molds. No! Level 36 scythe, though. Yeah, well, let's upgrade that even further, I'd say. Why not? Axes, molds, scythes, molds, spear. Ah, man, unlucky. And again, nothing for me. That's the reason why you do these quite a few times. And this is also the reason why I can clearly see that this game is pissing off people, you see. Clearly understandable, but sometimes I just like to have a simple goal, a repetitive task, and some patience. You know what? Oh, I'm too late. Did I have an extra key to spare? Yes. Ah, well, let's do that next time. So next run we're going to use 2 keys at once. That doesn't spawn 2 bosses at once, but it gives us double the loot. I just didn't want to do it at the very first time when I wasn't sure if we would be even able to beat that thing. Phase 2. Really fast kill speed on this boss for my terms. I've had so much worse in the past. If we now get lucky enough to draw a weapon that is actually upgrading me, that would be superb.
That's the way.
Okay. Come on. So... too bad. But at least that crown can be crafted into a different key eventually. Oh boy, that troll face. So... nope. No gear for you. Fine. Let's do that one more time. With the last 2 keys that we got. So with that guy,
I can take those extra keys.
we can invest 1 extra key, so we double the rewards.
You are no match for Chaotica.
I'm afraid Poet fell asleep today again. Which is funny because he told me that he won't do so today. Okay. I mainly want a new mage weapon here from this guy here, so it would be really amazing if it would be happening during this attempt. If not, Bridge of the Demigods is a place where we will grind a lot, because we do grind here the pieces for the next boss, so this is just the beginning of a long-term relationship with Chaotica. That's why she's so old, you see. Or at least she sounds old. I can't really see how people look like gravitational fields here. There we go.
No. They burn.
Aye, that's the way.
So many levels. That's pretty crazy. Okay. So, let's see. Okay. Very effectively keeping me away from mage gear. Wow. Amazing. That is quite effective. This must be the revenge for all my previous characters that were way luckier than that. Wow, not a single mage item except for those gloves that I found in the first run. Yikes. That's been very, very unfortunate. Yeah. Wow. Whew. Bridge of the Demigods has never trolled me that hard, but it's the first time for everything, I'd say. Okay, we have had a really big upgrade for our secondary gear, though. I mean, that is also worth something, I guess. Doesn't help. We have to stay positive on that one. Now I have better weapons on all the secondary gear than on the other items. Why not? Okay. So, I'm gonna say goodnight here at this point because I feel like there's not much more to show here. There's not much more talk